Hi y'all, road trip. Alright, we're on our way to 2TreeBoyz for a visit with Elisabeth Ross and her wood supply operation. I'm not sure what we're going to see, but it ought to be fun. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are. We've arrived at Elisabeth's shop. Coming down the drive. Hey Elizabeth, how you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
Oh, steady, doing good. So what do you got to show us today?
I have lots of wood to show you.
Okay.
And we're excited to show you our operation. And
Excellent.
I think the kids are inside finishing lunch, so
Yeah.
you can grab them when you're ready for them.
Super, super. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we got an opportunity to talk with Alex Ross of 2TreeBoyz. Alex, tell me a little bit about your job role in the business.
Well, my mom takes me to wood symposiums with her, and I also see all the wood and blow at the shop.
Okay.
The shop and that kind of stuff.
All right. Tell me a little bit more about sealing the wood.
Well, we use just regular paintbrushes.
Okay. And what's that behind you? Does it come out of that container on the floor, that big white one?
Yes.
That's what? Some kind of
Kind of seal.
Anchor seal too.
anchor seal too. Okay. You seal it. What else?
Well, yeah, I also blow the shop, blow the sawdust out,
Okay.
when they cut stuff on the bandsaw.
Tell me a little bit about the name, Alex. Where did the name 2TreeBoyz come from?
Okay, it's a bit of a weird story. So me and my brother, when we first got into Minecraft,
Yeah.
my dad set up our account and named us the 2TreeBoyz because of his business and we're his sons.
Okay.
So then in like when did we start the business? Like the middle of
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
She said that we should make that our business name. So then I had to change my Minecraft name.
Yeah.
So I had read this thing about having entrepreneur aspirations with your children and
Yeah.
involving them. And so one of the tips was a way to involve your child was to have them involved in naming the business. And 2TreeBoyz was the least awful thing that they wanted to name the business. I don't remember what the other things were, but and since part of why I started the business is with us being homeschooling. I wanted some kind of additional income, but I wanted something that I could involve the kids in.
So Alex, tell me about in participation with 2TreeBoyz business. What wood turning events have you been to?
I've been to 2 of the AAW symposiums. I'm going to my 3rd one this year.
Yeah, I think I was out there in Portland at the same time.
SWAT twice.
SWAT, wow.
And,
that's in
Texas.
Waco, is that where that is?
Yeah, Waco, Texas. Southwest Association.
Yeah.
of Turners.
Okay.
And also, I've also been to
The Mid-Atlantic.
The Mid-Atlantic Symposium.
Okay.
And I think that's like all I've been to.
Okay. Okay, Alex, this is your wood turning station. I see you got a nice jet. Where'd you get that?
This is a jet mini lathe. I won it at the AAW 3 years ago, I think.
Was that here in Atlanta?
Yes, that was when I was
Okay.
in Atlanta. And I also won
Cool.
a tool set. I don't really have all the tools that I won from the set. I won
Okay.
like crown tools, that kind of tools.
So what kind of things do you turn?
Mainly pens. I also turn bud vases. Here is one of my pieces.
Excellent. Yeah, I believe you won a prize with one of those, didn't you? Cash
yeah.
money.
I sold that one.
I want to share with you perhaps my most memorable moment at the symposium. I was speaking with Elisabeth Ross, owner of 2TreeBoyz. She runs a family-operated business in Beaufort, Georgia, providing beautiful hardwood turning blanks to clients all over the U.S. I recently had a 2-hour hands-on class with her 13-year-old son, Alex, back in Georgia. Alex was attending the symposium with his mom, and it turns out he won a Youth Merit Award ribbon with the twig pot he made in a hands-on session with me. This may be the closest I'll ever get to winning a ribbon, but I'm okay with that.
I bet you wish you'd kept it, didn't you?
Yeah. I've made 2 bowls. This is my first one.
Excellent.
This is my second one.
Look nicer than my first bowls.
I did this one with Mark Soleil, and I did this one with Bill
Bill Lynch.
Yeah, Bill Lynch. Yeah, so those are some attorneys. And I have
So this is the youngest member of the 2TreeBoyz staff who helps clean up. And what's your name?
Lily.
Lily.
Is a really great sweeper.
Okay, Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about your process.
Okay, so what is maybe a little bit different about us compared to other people who sell the green wood is that the majority of the wood we sell comes from my husband's tree service. My husband actually grew up working in a relative's tree service, and he owns a tree service here in the Atlanta area. And so the majority of the wood, instead of the tree service paying to dump it, and dumping prices have recently doubled in our area. There's no there's no competition. So he will identify the pretty wood out on the job site when he goes and does estimates. When they're out there cutting. If it's unusual, sometimes he'll say, hey, does anybody want this? And I'll make phone calls or send out emails or something. So the tree service will actually come and dump it here. We have made cleared out some of the extra land that we have on our lot and made a prettier spot behind this fence that is to store it in. But the tree service will dump it here. And then my nice husband works for me on the weekends, and so what he'll do is he will slab it up with his chainsaw, and then he does the bandsawing for me. So generally, as soon as he can, once the wood comes home, he'll cut a nice sample piece, and then we'll use that to contact our customers and the people on our interest list with pricing, and then we will take orders and then custom cut everything.
Do you do that on Facebook with pictures to sample the customers?
I do a lot of it on Facebook. I have an email list. That's one of those things that's always on my to-do list.
Gotcha.
Figure out the email list because there are a lot of people in our field who aren't on social media. But I do keep lists. I'm working with a gentleman in my club to set up a database so that I have these X number of people always want to know when I get ambrosia maple.
Yeah.
Or these people always want to know when there's wood big enough for a human urn. And these people always want to know when there's something else. So far I've been managing this in my head, and our contact list is just so big that now we're trying to automate that a little bit.
Okay.
But
so
the rest of the process happens inside.
All right, well, let's go check out the inside.
So the next step is my husband, after he slabs it, then we'll kind of like evaluate the piece. We learned a lot from my business mentor, Mark Soleil, about grain orientation and we use like a cutting jig, and so we have the plywood circles for the different sizes. And so we'll actually come out with the different pieces from our jigs, and then look at each blank, each slab, and really determine where the best grain orientation is. There is a lot to be said about a perfectly balanced blank, but then sometimes the figure is more important. So I've received training, like I said, from Mark Soleil and just from other wood turners.
Biggest is not always best.
Right. So, I think that's one thing that really makes us different is to say, like, someone who's just running slabs through a machine, is we're actually taking time to figure out how the best use of the blank is. John Jordan has been an excellent teacher for how to do that. So we actually will, most of the time, actually mark with Sharpie where we want to make the cut, and then it goes to the bandsaw and it's cut, and then the boys actually do all of the sealing for me.
Okay.
So this is unusual here because most of what we do is custom cut. We live in a really hot, humid area. And so no matter what kind of sealing we do, cracking at some point as the wood dries and it shrinks is always going to be an issue. So we try not to keep stock for that reason. So I have all kinds of logs, but we just try to cut as we do the orders.
Okay. Okay. Tell me a little bit about your packing operation, shipping.
Okay, so I wish I could show you my new packing station, but it still needs a light installed to make it optimal for the camera. So because of the weight of the wood, and we're selling wet blanks, our customers really like the fact that a tree could be cut down on Friday and it's being shipped to them on Monday or Tuesday. The turners who like the green wood sometimes really like that.
Yeah.
That factor. It's not sitting on a shelf in a store for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So because of the weight, we do a lot of shipping in flat rate boxes through the U.S. Postal Service. And this is the largest flat rate box that we can use. It's the large flat rate box. There's 2 different shapes, but this, I would say, haven't ran an analytics for a while, but at one point about 70% of my orders were going in this flat rate box.
That's the 12 by 12.
It's 12 by 12 by 5.5. So yeah, 12 by 12 by 5.5. So I will use a 12-inch blank, or something that we do that's actually a really popular item is we offer an assortment. I call it the gateway purchase, and we sell 4 6-inch blanks, 4 different species.
Okay.
So we'll ship that in this box as well. But one thing I have found, having a commercial account with the post office, is these regional rate boxes. And so whereas this has a flat rate no matter where it goes in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii, which we do have customers in Alaska and Hawaii, but not South Dakota or Alabama. I don't know if they have wood turners there. Anyway, this is the same price everywhere. The regional rate box varies depending on how far it's going from this location. So if I ship this across town, it's $7.17, but say to Texas, it's maybe $10.60. So this is a 12 by 10 by 5.5. So we cut rounds in even sizes. So anything besides a 10-inch can go in here, and that's the way that saves our customers money.
Okay, and then the large box?
All right, so, a lot of times we are selling 1 blank at a time, but more and more I'm getting customers who are ordering multiple blanks at a time. And what I have found just by keeping records and weighing and going to the post office and going to different carriers is that if a customer, in most parts of the United States, if they order more than 3 blanks at a time, it's actually usually cheaper for me to ship it FedEx ground. So I do a lot of shipping in. This is a box I purchased not from FedEx, just from a shipping supplier. This size is 12 by 12 by 18, and most things that are ordered I can get in this box. So this is going to Texas. It's 27 pounds. It's probably going to cost about $25 to ship. Whereas if it's going in multiple of these boxes, we're looking at like $40, or multiple of these, we're getting up to like $70.
Okay. Sounds like there's a lot of tracking and keeping up with the best way of shipping, since that's such a significant cost.
There is, and I have always really wanted to just use integrity in the business. And so I hate, say you order something from, the thing is coming in a box this size and they're going to charge you $14.95 for shipping.
Yeah.
I don't want to run my business that way. So there is more work on my end. I use a shipping program, which really saves me a lot of time with figuring out those things. I have a scale here. After a while, you just kind of start knowing. But yeah, if you're if you're ordering this box shipped to your house, it's going to be $40 and up for this size and with the shipping. So, if I can save you $3 or $4, I'd rather do that, because my whole, I guess, kind of the way I run my business is I would rather you buy from me every month than me just make this one really big sale. And we have customers who buy every month. Of my like 5 original customers, 4 of them buy from me on a regular basis.
Wow.
So, you know, where you are maybe putting a little bit of extra time to make it better for your customer, that really pays off when people feel that they can trust you. And when they trust you, they're going to keep using you, and they're going to keep referring you. And that's really what has made, you know, what makes our business successful for our family.
I know there's been issues at some of these symposiums where they talk about wood crossing state lines, and that's something I know you've got to be right on top of. Tell me a little bit about those kinds of issues.
Okay, so when I started the wood business, that was a concern of mine because my husband owns a tree service and he is an International Society of Arboriculture certified arborist. I didn't want to do anything in my business that would jeopardize him. So staying on top of regulations is really important to me. Sadly, I find that there's really not good concrete information, but what I have found is that what we're processing as a wood turning blank does not meet the qualifications for firewood. And most of the regulations for wood crossing state lines has to do with firewood. It's in bigger pieces, it has bark. I will ship wood with bark, but very little of what I ship has bark. So most pests are going to be right under the bark. You know, not to say that you're never going to get an ambrosia maple blank and turn it and something comes flying out at you, but the things that concerns the pests that are taking out our trees in the United States,
Like the ash
burrs,
borer beetle.
Yeah, so with my husband being an arborist, it is easier probably for me than the average wood seller to keep up with that kind of stuff because we get notifications from ISA, from the Georgia Arborist Association. So for example, ash is under quarantine in most of the United States. Where we live in the state of Georgia, it is illegal for us to move ash even from city to city. So I don't deal in ash. I refuse to do that.
What are your major woods that you probably sell more than anything else?
So my top 3 woods are ambrosia maple, flaming box elder, and Bradford pear, which when I say Bradford pear is a top seller to anyone who lives in our area, they cannot believe it because it has these stinky blossoms. It's seen as a trash tree in our area, but it has a very straight trunk with a big crown, so it splits a lot.
It's one of my favorites.
But
So Elisabeth, you've got an unusual assignment or opportunity the last couple of years as you started getting involved with the Georgia Association of Woodturners. Tell me about that.
So last year I took over as a symposium chair for our Turning Southern Style Symposium. We hold that the 3rd weekend of September in Dalton, Georgia. So myself and my team, we put it on last year. It was fairly successful, especially considering that none of us had run a symposium before.
But you had a good product book that laid everything out, right?
Yes, we did. Our predecessors really paved the way for us to put on a successful event. So we're looking forward to having an even better event this year.
Yeah, for folks that are not familiar with it, I'll have a link to that video from last year's symposium. But if you've never been to a regional symposium, it is a blast. You really ought to check them out if they're in your area or if you're in the North Georgia area.
And one thing that we're really excited about this year is that we have David Ellsworth as one of our lead demonstrators, and that's something that a lot of people are really interested in coming to see him demonstrate.
Absolutely. If someone was interested in purchasing wood from you, probably right now the best bet is to go to your Facebook page.
Go to my Facebook, my VIP group. We'll get a link up for that. My website is undergoing a really big revamp.
So we'll put the link to the Facebook page and And the website, if it comes up when this is released, I'll put it in the description below.
And then if you're not on social media, we'll also provide my email as well. And just shoot me an email and we'll get in contact and see how we can help you find the right piece for your projects.
Great. Thanks, Elisabeth. This has been a lot of fun. I enjoyed you inviting me over and sharing this with me.
Sure. We've really enjoyed having you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.